This week on CountryMusicJunkies.com, we have a new band to introduce you to. They are called Cache Creek, and we are so honored to have one of the lead band members, Kimo Forrest, on the phone with us. Kimo, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh gosh, thank you for having us on here.
Now, Cache Creek came together in a pretty unique way. Can you kind of explain the story of how you became Cache Creek?
Sure. I guess it was, we're originally from rural Northern California, and but we had everybody had kind of a common interest in country music out there. We felt like we were on an island out there because we're so far away from Nashville and such. But just had a love for all things Alabama and country music, and just kind of started talking to some friends around school there, and we had a similar interest, and just kind of decided, it really was kind of organic how it all came together. We just started getting together and jamming, and before we knew it, we were playing for friends' parties and stuff, and local dances, and the bass player and I have been together since the 5th grade, and it's just kind of evolved from there, and little did we know it was going to become a livelihood for us. So and here we are several years later.
There you go, and you're going strong now. What I thought was kind of interesting is that yourself and also Steve Stokes from the band, you guys kind of got together on the road with another artist. So tell us how that came together.
Sure, I played with John Michael Montgomery for, I think it was about 2000 when I took that gig, and then Steve Stokes, the fiddle player, he came along around 2004, I believe, and we were roommates, and, just kind of, I also run a production company here, so I do a lot of songwriter demos, and then I started having him play on my demos, and we just kind of liked what was going on, and it just kind of turned into, it was just a really unique sound, and we were getting a lot of compliments and what they call like buzz around town here, so we just kind of decided to make that happen, and turn it into something else, and really put that as our focus.
Well, that's great. Now, you described your sound as very unique. Is there anything that you can kind of compare it to for those listeners that maybe haven't heard your music before?
Sure. It's we call it kind of a cross between Restless Heart, Alabama, and Def Leppard.
Nice.
Our background vocals kind of have that. Mutt Lang, who's the producer for the Def Leppard stuff,
right,
and the sound, and so that's where that leans to. I mean, it's not that we're doing, pour some sugar on me and stuff like that. It just kind of, the background vocals lend themselves to that particular style.
All right. Well, hey, that's a great combination, a pretty unique combination for sure. Now, how has working with major artists kind of influenced the sound of Cache Creek and the style and maybe the dynamic? Has it influenced it in any way?
Well, it definitely has, especially the working aspect of it, because we've been on the road, like I said, with John Michael Montgomery, Tracy Adkins, Josh Turner, just so many artists that we've been side guys for, and it's kind of from school, you know what I mean? Yeah, mm-hmm. You're there on the front line, you see what they have to go through, what they have to put up with. So when you're starting out as a new band, it's not such a blind side. You kind of know more what to expect and what is expected of you, and it just you like I said, you just don't get blindsided. It's more, okay, I saw that coming because I saw this artist go through that, or I saw him up at 6 a.m. after not getting to bed before to do a radio interview, so I'm not cranky. You know what I mean? It's just and keeping focused that what a blessing and what an honor it is to be in that position, which is what I think happens to a lot of artists. Sometimes the grind is pretty tough. I mean, it's a hard grind, and there is a lot expected of them, and so you kind of you might get a little edge to yourself or a little negativity involved, but I mean, as we go into this, we have our eyes wide open and we know what to expect. So, and we're just chopping it up with the biscuit, so to speak.
Well, there you go. That's great. Now, Cache Creek, you guys have an album out called "It's All About the Money." Tell us a little bit about that.
That started out, it was a collection of demos, like that we were doing for songwriters, and I guess, well, there's 16 songs on it, so it's
wow, that is a large album for sure.
Yeah, and I think 8 were actually the original demos that we did for these songwriters, and they were just at they just seemed to have so much more than just a regular songwriter song demo, and we kind of actually built the band around that and around that sound. Like I said, it just really kind of came about very organically. We kind of backed into it, so to speak, because a friend of mine that I was working, because in 2008 I was working on the John Michael Montgomery record, Time Flies, the last one that he had out, and my engineer was he just really loved the stuff that we were doing, and he took it to Scott Hendricks, who is the head of A&R at Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Scott just flipped for a song on there, and he was just really excited about it, and I ended up actually cutting that song on an artist named Jason Jones, who they didn't release, but that's a whole other story. and so we kind of, it really kind of backed us, when I say we backed into to this business, it was just like we've got so much positive response for our sound that we said, we kind of be foolish not to go ahead with this thing, and so that's kind of where that is too, and hope I'm not too jumbled in my timeline there, but
no, I appreciate the context for everything. Now, Kimo, if fans want to check out Cache Creek, where can they go to find your music and also get in touch with you maybe via social media outlets?
Sure, yes, we've got Facebook and Twitter and all of that stuff going on. Where I think our Twitter handle is just at Cache Creek, and Facebook, you can just look at Cache Creek there, and then we have a CMT page at cmt.com, and there's free music downloads there. There's photos and just all of our information, but all those links are also on our Facebook page, so you can find us on the old FB there and get all the information that you need.
Excellent. Well, that's great. Well, Kimo, thank you so much for joining us. Fans, be sure to check out Cache Creek on Facebook and Twitter and link to all of their music pages. Thank you again for joining us. It has been so great chatting with you, and we definitely look forward to staying in touch.
Well, thank you so much.